Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the transformative wisdom of the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz with Janet Mills. First published in 1997, this insightful tome invites readers to challenge the restrictive societal norms that limit our personal growth. The Four Agreements has resonated with readers worldwide, cementing its place as a New York Times bestseller for over 8 years. The heart of the book lies in its titular agreements, simple yet profound commitments one can make to oneself to foster freedom, happiness, and authentic living. These principles are drawn from the ancient Toltec wisdom that Ruiz was poised to inherit as his familial legacy. Yet, it took a life-altering near-death experience for him to embrace his role as a spiritual teacher or Nagual and to share the powerful insights of his ancestors. Janet Mills, the founder and president of Amber Allen Publishing, not only aids in disseminating this spiritual knowledge but also contributes her expertise as the co-author of the Toltec Wisdom series. The Four Agreements beckons to those who feel ensnared in their existence, suffocated by the weight of societal expectations. It is a must-read for parents eager to imbue their children with the strength to walk through life unshackled by conformist beliefs. Moreover, this book serves as a beacon of truth for anyone who senses that they are entrapped within falsehoods in their own life, a guide back to personal truth and integrity. So, whether you seek to break free from negative life patterns or yearn to embrace your true self, join us as we summarize and explore the enduring wisdom of the Four Agreements. The Four Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom, a Toltec wisdom book. Introduction. Unlock ancient secrets for modern living. Discover how Toltec wisdom can transform your life. Once upon a time, amid Mexico's vast landscapes, thrived the Toltec civilization, known for their mastery in arts and science and dedicated to preserving the spiritual insights of their forebears. They created a repository of wisdom touching on the deepest facets of human existence, elements that survived long after their society transitioned into history's tapestry. Fast forward to our bustling digital age, and we stumble upon the question, what relevance could such bygone knowledge possibly hold for us now? Prepare to embark on an illuminating journey where we unlock the ancestral vault of the Toltec to extract four priceless jewels of wisdom that promise a life of greater authenticity, contentment, and self-fulfillment. Navigate through this exploration, and you shall encounter why it's imperative to question society's preconceived dreams and, ultimately, to forge your own. Discover the pitfalls of taking criticism to heart, and equally so, why basking in applause might not serve your true self. Unravel the intricate web of misconceptions clouding your view of self and others. Stay tuned as we delve into a treasure trove of ancient insights that are anything but relics, pulsing with relevance and ready to be woven into the fabric of your modern-day narrative. Part 1. Breaking Free from Childhood Conditioning. Choosing Your Own Path as an Adult. Imagine this. Upon entering the world, a myriad of rules awaits, ready to shape your very being. These are not merely guidelines for speaking or acting, but blueprints that carve the boundaries of our aspirations and fears. The almighty social norms not only dictate the language we speak, but they also draft the intricate plot lines of the dreams we dare to dream. Consider the amalgam of personal ambitions. Then picture a grander collective vision, a dream spun by society itself. Within this shared dream, our parents, schools, and religious institutions draft a script full of shoulds and should-nots, training us in the fine art of discernment between virtue and vice. This script is handed to us without a say in its crafting, a series of tacit agreements we enter into, shaping how we view ourselves and the world. A process that can be likened to our domestication. If, in our youth, we dared challenge this script, we faced a system where elders held dominion, capable of quelling rebellion and doling out punishment or praise. Conformity was often rewarded, dissent discouraged. Reflect on the childhood refrain: good boys and girls follow the rules. Our triumphs in adherence were met with attention, the currency of childhood approval, from the adults and peers whose validation we craved. This led us to the edge of a metaphorical precipice, where the fear of rejection loomed, and to avoid its icy grip, we often sacrificed authentic self-expression. As time marches on, the need for external control withers, for the intricate web of beliefs and rules has nestled into the very marrow of who we are. Internalizing these dictates, we create an idealized self to which we relentlessly compare our every thought and action, self-inflicting punishment and reproach upon any deviation. There is, however, a beacon of hope. It's possible to untangle our adult selves from these childhood roots, to plant new seeds of belief and raise fresh agreements that stem from our own conscious volition. What unfolds next are the keys to this liberating possibility, a path leading away from internal conflict towards the fertile ground of autonomy and self-discovery. Part 2. Commit to the power of your words, the first agreement to transform your life. In our everyday conversations, we seldom pause to reflect on the magnitude of the words we let slip from our tongues. Yet in doing so, we might be carving wounds in our own spirits or those of others. Impeccable is a term derived from Latin, signifying a state of flawlessness, akin to being without sin. Envision your words as seeds, where each one can sprout either nourishing fruit or thorny weeds within your internal garden. Speaking against oneself is akin to self-sabotage. Each time you whisper to yourself, "I am inadequate," or "I am unworthy," you cast a shadow over your many virtues, engaging in an act of self-flagellation with your own words. Reversing this pattern, imagine a world where you affirm your strengths and shower yourself with the kindness of your vocabulary. Words, despite being invisible and weightless, possess the untold power to craft realities and influence perspectives, to build or to break, to heal or to wound. They are not simply abstract sounds, but tools that can shape the contours of your thoughts and reality. The ripples they create extend beyond oneself, influencing the beliefs and feelings of others. To illustrate, ponder this tale. A smart woman, blessed with a remarkable daughter, adores her child beyond measure. One exhausted evening, the daughter's innocent joy fills the home with her lively singing. In a moment of weakness, the mother lashes out in frustration, chiding her daughter for her voice. The daughter internalizes this reprimand, believing her voice to be a nuisance, and in doing so, an invisible pact is forged, one that silences her song for years, stealing away her confidence in her own voice. Such is the imprisoning force of words. Reflect for a moment. Just how often have you cast yourself as the unworthy protagonist in your life's narrative? With each self-critical agreement you make, you bow to a belief that diminishes your potential. Thus emerges the ethos of the first agreement. Wield your words like a craftsman, with care and intention, never turning them into weapons against yourself. As we transition to the next agreement, remember this ethos and be prepared to explore how personal interpretation of words can dramatically affect us all. Part 3. Strengthen your self-knowledge to let go of taking things personally. Think about a moment when you were on the receiving end of a rude comment. It probably didn't take long for the memory to surface, and that's telling. When we take such moments to heart, we often fall into the trap of validating the criticism, ingraining it into our psyche as if it bears our own personal stamp of truth. Yet, this instinct to personalize external negativity is a snare that can imprison us in a state of needless suffering, assuming everything is about us, a concept known as personal importance. This tendency is another fruit of the domestication process, which ingrains in us the habit of internalizing every dart and laurel as a reflection of our worth. However, take a moment to shift your perspective. Consider the idea that none of the comments directed at you actually concern you, but rather the person making them. It's a potent reminder that each individual is enmeshed in their own narrative, complete with unique beliefs and viewpoints. Take, for example, someone commenting on your appearance. It's not an indictment of your body, it's a glimpse into their personal tangled web of issues and insecurities. The same mouth that casts you as an angel in moments of bliss may paint you as the villain in times of turmoil. The antidote to this ploy of personalization is fortified self-awareness. Grounded in your own identity, you'll have no yearning for external approval, and others' words will lose their power to sway your emotions. This stance is not only liberating, but also allows you to appreciate the myriad perspectives that populate the human experience. Envision a scenario where someone claims your words have inflicted pain. It's crucial to recognize that you're not the author of their hurt. Their own inner agreements are the real culprits. Similarly, if you simmer with anger at someone's remarks, often it's your own fears that stoke the flame. Owning this insight is the first step in addressing those deep-seated emotions, liberating yourself from the weight of taking things personally. Part 4. Clarify, don't assume. The key to understanding and trust. How often have we leapt to conclusions based on the slimmest of premises? Consider those moments when a friend's lack of greeting sends us spiraling into a whirlwind of doubts and fears for the relationship. Indeed, such assumptions are common yet fraught with peril, for they can easily lead us astray, conjuring entire worlds of fiction that veer sharply from reality. Assumptions often masquerade as truths within the theater of our minds. They push us to believe we've been deceived as soon as the curtain pulls back to reveal the bare stage of reality. The stories we concoct based on incomplete understanding have a tendency to lead us down rabbit holes of misconception. Visualize a stroll through a bustling cityscape. You lock eyes with a stranger and a smile blooms between you. The romantic within us might instantly weave a narrative of affection, even envisioning a future woven together. This example, innocent as it may seem, illustrates just how far our suppositions can carry us from the grounding shores of actuality. In the realm of intimate bonds, the fallout from assumptions can be particularly severe. Partners may believe their inner thoughts to be transparent, expecting them to be acted upon without communication, only to be met with disappointment and resentment when the anticipated action fails to manifest. Sometimes, we even become our own targets for these unwarranted leaps of logic. We may overestimate our capabilities and, in facing the harsh light of failure, berate ourselves needlessly when perhaps all that was missing were the right questions to guide our efforts. To combat the insidious creep of assumptions, we must arm ourselves with the courage to ask forthright questions. Stepping into the unknown by inquiring can be daunting, but it's a surefire guard against the shadows cast by unverified beliefs. For instance, instead of allowing the silence of an unreturned greeting to sow seeds of discord, a simple, "Is everything okay?" could bridge worlds of misunderstanding. Clarity in communication is paramount. It's about dispersing the fog of assumption through the bright light of inquiry, and persisting in this quest for understanding until the truth comes into sharp focus. Having unpacked these three transformative agreements, we now edge toward the precipice of the fourth, a linchpin that will empower us to enact the preceding trio with grace and resolve. Part 5. Embrace the ebb and flow of your best effort. The age-old adage, "just do your best," may conjure memories of childhood, echoing the encouraging words of parents and educators. And here we stand, with this simple yet profound counsel continuing to hold sway in our adult lives. Always do your best, but recognize that your best is a variable measure, not a fixed mark. It is a universal truth that the quality of your best efforts is influenced by the flux of daily circumstances. Whether your energy is brimming like a spring or ebbing away like a receding tide, it's vital to honor the capacity you hold at any given moment. This acceptance ensures you sidestep the traps of self-judgment or remorse. Consider the differences in your own vitality from sunrise to well beyond sunset. Acknowledge that the vigor of the morning may not be at your command by day's end. Mistaking this natural decline for a deficit in effort will only sap your remaining strength, leaving you more depleted. Conversely, exerting less than your best breeds fertile ground for a harvest of guilt and grievances against yourself. Bear in mind the key to maintaining your best performance. Engage with your tasks for the joy they bring, not merely for external incentives. Take, for example, the common pursuit of wages. The fixation on a paycheck as an end goal casts a shadow over the potential enjoyment of the work. Many trudge through their occupational duties, detached and unenthused, only to seek solace in weekend escapades that temporarily mask dissatisfaction. In contrast, when your best effort is powered by genuine passion for the work before you, your performance not only improves, but the activity itself becomes seemingly effortless. Within this context, the last of the quartet of agreements, to consistently do your best, serves as a cornerstone, amplifying the effects of its counterparts and setting the stage for authentic liberation. By understanding and applying this final principle, you charge all prior agreements with renewed potency, paving your way towards true self-mastery and the unshackling of your potential. Part 6. Reclaim your independence. 3 steps to a liberated life. You stand at a crossroads between adherence to the agreements of old, those which have shackled your spirit with pain, and the beckoning freedom of new, empowering choices. Here lie 3 transformative avenues for severing ties, with those binding old agreements and stepping into a life unchained. First, reflect upon your current reality, the dream shaped by your earliest encounters with the world, known as the dream of the first attention. This was a time when the malleable clay of childhood absorbed the imprints of external influences. But the sands of time have shifted. You are no longer that child. You are equipped with the power to sculpt a new dream, to sift through beliefs and fashion your own projections of possibility, giving birth to the dream of the second attention. To embark on this revision of your dream, spotlight those fear-laden beliefs that have sown seeds of discontent within you. Scrutinize them, dissect their hold, and gradually supplant them with fresh foundations. The 4 agreements offer a fertile beginning. The second escape route from the prison of past agreements emerges from a Toltec portrayal of a mental parasite commanding the helm of our consciousness. The antidote to this parasitic tyranny is the salve of forgiveness. Envision a daybreak brimming with potential. Yet, a single altercation drains your storehouse of vigor, leaving you entrapped in a mire of bitterness. It's this reservoir of resentment that feeds the parasite, perpetuating a cycle of energy siphoning negativity. Forgive those who have wronged you, and perhaps most critically, forgive yourself. The third strategy for liberation is the consideration of mortality as a lens to refocus life's priorities. The exercise known as the initiation of the dead proposes a stark question. If today were your last, would you still be ensnared by the apprehension of others' judgments? Adopt this daily mindfulness of life's transience, and you'll discover that all you ever truly possess is found within the now. This acute awareness slices through life's superficial concerns, allowing a vision of existence untainted by external validations. By employing these 3 potent steps, you are laying to rest the ghosts of your old agreements and stepping forward into the exhilarating air of freedom, an existence where you craft the narrative and seize the pen that writes your destiny. Final summary. The essence of the messages we've traversed is this. The coded influences of society's rulebook bind us from our first breath, shaping an existence often at odds with our innermost truths. Yet, hope glimmers on the horizon, heralding the potential for emancipation through the teachings and philosophies embedded in the Toltec tradition. By weaving the 4 agreements into the very fabric of our daily living, we can unravel the societal constraints that have long restricted us. With each agreement, we deepen our understanding of self, fortify our resilience against external pressures, and propel ourselves towards a life aligned with personal authenticity and freedom. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.